Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad that you can be with us today. Alongside, I've got Jan from the Save Money and More with Jan channel. Hi,
Hey,
Jan.
Steve, everybody. Thanks for having me here.
Sure, you're welcome. So, what the topic is going to be for today is things we will not do just to save money. And the first, because I know you and I are going to, go back and forth, but the first one I have here is I refuse to buy inferior quality furniture just to save money. I want things with lasting power that's durable. However, I could still get a quality vintage furniture piece or something at a garage sale or thrift store at a better price. I just have to take the time and look for it. And that's true. Um, Thrift stores, garage sales, that's always a good place to go. I mean, I'm not the greatest when it comes to being well versed when it comes to furniture. I know a few brand names. I know what to look for and what not to look for when you're looking for furniture. I try to look for something that's got, that's made of real wood. I try to look for something that's got tongue and groove. That's something you don't hear every day, tongue and groove. Um, I don't want to buy anything that's made of pressboard. That is of a very low garbage quality because we know what pressboard is. All that is wood shavings that's glued together. And you're not gonna and it's not gonna last, it's gonna fall apart and you're not gonna get, a lot of use out of it. If I'm gonna purchase furniture, yeah, I'll go ahead and take the initiative and pay out a little bit. I know a couple of brand names that I would go after. Actually make that three. From what I understand, Thomasville is not too bad. Bassett, I know used to be pretty good. That's another one. And another good brand is Ethan Allen. So if you're looking for something that's got quality, yes, go ahead, pay the extra. And I say this about other things too. Go ahead and pay a little bit extra money up front. Because guess what? As you use it, as you keep it and take care of it, you're actually making the money back as you have it.
Makes sense. A ton of sense, Steve. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Well, Steve, I want to jump in. There's some things I absolutely, like you, will not compromise on just to save money. And in this area, it has to do with footwear. I am sorry. For a number of reasons, a variety of reasons, I will not buy secondhand shoes. One, I would be too squeamish because of sanitary purposes. I don't know where the origin of the original person wearing those pair of shoes in the first place. So it would make me personally squeamish. I'm sorry, I'm just saying the truth. That's how I would react. The other thing is also sizing. Sizing with footwear is really important. I know what size I am in a brand new fit. I want to get a better quality shoe. Again, it's like you, like with the furniture. Good quality makes an incredible difference. And
Uh-huh.
anyone can attest to this. If your shoes are not fitting your feet properly and you're going out for a walk, you're out and about, it is so uncomfortable. Who hasn't had a day where maybe you picked up the wrong size shoe or you have a little foot swelling going on or whatever the reason, or you just simply bought the wrong size and you made a mistake and you're trying to stretch them out? Uncomfortable feet, when your feet are uncomfortable, for true and for sure, your whole body feels uncomfortable, in my honest opinion, and in my own personal experiences. So, good quality footwear, I will not cheap out on. I would rather get a better price on, let's say, a watermelon somewhere, look around with that. Certain things totally will compromise with. But when it comes to footwear, decent footwear, I don't want to buy cheap quality shoes. I don't want to wear secondhand shoes. I want to wear the right size, especially I'm a senior. I want to make sure that I have good support in my footwear. Very, very important. A lot of seniors fall down wearing the wrong size shoe or heels that are too high or things of that nature. You got to pay attention to your footwear. And if it means spending a couple of bucks, that's okay. That's why, for example, I might save money on the grocery store for something and put that extra funding towards something that means more to me. That's like part of my frugal living. So for me, I pay strict attention to good quality footwear.
Yeah, um, I'm like that too because whenever I go and buy shoes, I try to keep it between one of three, maybe one of four brands. Like right now, currently, I've got New Balance, which I've been a fan of for a while. Um, I do like Nike. I do like, let's see, what's the other one? Skechers is not bad.
Mhm.
Um, you know, that's just three. I used to be a fan once upon a time years ago. I haven't worn them in quite some time. I used to be a fan of Reeboks once upon a time.
Yeah, sure. I
'Cause
remember a few people loving the Reeboks as well a few years back.
yeah,
It's true.
because back when I was in school back in the 1980s, Reebok was like the in shoe at the time. Well, that was one of them. So, I do so I mean, I have a few brands out there, that I'll go after that, I myself look for a quality shoe as well. Like I said, I've got New Balances now, and I'm perfectly happy with what I have. They're comfortable. They're not, tight on my feet. They don't tire me out. Shoes are critical because shoes is, you definitely got to make sure you get a good one. That's for sure. Okay, so my next would be I don't buy food items just because it's on sale. I have to actually like and enjoy the food in the first place, otherwise it's a waste of money. Yeah, yeah, I can't see myself going to buy a product just because it looks good. Oh, this looks really good. I'd love to try it. I don't know if it's any good. I've never had it. Um, a lot of the time, if I ever want to take the initiative, if I ever wanted to buy a product, no, I'm not. I will wait until it goes on sale, but before I'll buy it, I will say this. If they have more than one variety or more than one type, and I've tried one, maybe two, maybe three of the varieties, and I was pleased, and I come across another variety that they have that I've never tried, um, I would have to look at it real close to make sure that it would be something that I would like. I mean, I'm not gonna go and buy something that's got chipotle or sriracha if I'm not gonna look for something that's spicy and hot because I know then I won't eat it. Um, but if it's something that's got a nice flavor about it that I've never tried, yeah, I'll go ahead and try it, but a lot of the time, it also depends on price too. If it's too expensive, I'll just wait because I don't, like you say, I don't want to buy something just to buy it and then it winds up going bad and then you throw it away. I'm not going
Right.
to do,
Makes a
you
ton of
know.
sense. Absolutely
Yeah.
makes a ton of sense.
Hmm.
I went through speaking of food, Steve, speaking of food, I will not purchase or eat very, when I say very expired, I'll tell you a little story. Very expired food. I am not going to put my health at risk, and medical expenses could be pretty costly, not to mention uncomfortable and putting your health at risk. Just recently, I ever buy a package of those sliced pepperoni? Almost everybody I think we know has a little package of sliced pepperoni in their refrigerator, for the pizza topping or whatever they use it for. And it's not like I use a ton of it on my pizza. Okay. So it takes a little while. And I realized that I had opened a ton, not a ton, excuse me, a package of sliced pepperoni. This was about less than 2 weeks ago. So I sealed it up very well. I put it in a nice cold area of my kitchen's refrigerator. And what I did, I said, it's been 2 weeks. I still want to use it, but I ran a check online to see like how long can you use your sliced pepperoni if it's been opened up. And they said that the USDA recommends you could even go a full 3 weeks. Mine wasn't even 2 weeks and
Hmm.
it was well sealed. So I tasted a couple of the pieces. It tasted fine. There was no foul smell to it or anything of that nature. That's what I mean by very expired food. It wasn't technically expired anyway. But here's the thing, be careful with what we eat. If you have any doubts about anything sitting in your refrigerator, don't risk your health, high expensive medical bills, or whatever. Read the labels, check, go online and run a check. I felt so much better after I did run the check and got that answer that the USDA says you could go a full 3 weeks, and it wasn't even barely 2 full weeks. So I was within the safe zone. I tasted everything was fine. And I could always cook it and crunch it up if I'm really doubtful. Don't don't be so like loosey goosey about expired foods because you could risk your health on it, and then needing a doctor costs a lot of money. So
Yeah.
just to save a few cents, I mean, I can't stand food waste. Everybody that knows me and knows me even personally knows I dislike food waste, which is why every single practically Friday I go through my refrigerator to make sure everything is a-okay. I clean up my refrigerator every week or every 10 days maximum. And yeah, so that's just another thing. I'm not going to compromise my health just to save a buck or two. I'm not going to do that.
No. Well, I mean, there is a little saying that goes along with what you said, waste not, want not.
Right?
Yeah, I'm like that too. I mean, after a certain amount of time, I guess if something has been in the refrigerator that, yeah, because one of the things I'll do is before I'll use anything, I'll open it and I'll smell it.
That's right.
If it smells any way off, if it doesn't have the right smell, I'm discarding it. I'm not gonna chance it. No.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Steve, all this is part of being frugal, actually. We try to prevent things. We're careful with the quality of the furniture. We're not going to wear footwear that's going to put us in any sort of harm's way, not good structuring or, support. No, have to be very careful. I used to love to go bowling at one time, Steve, as a quick aside. And I always felt creepy when you rent the bowling shoes at the bowling
Yeah.
place. I can't lie to you. I always felt creepy renting and putting on some pair of shoes that hundreds of various different people had in the past. So that was one of the things I kind of like wasn't happy with. I know that they put that spray on it and all that,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know, it's something in my mind's eye anyway.
The thing to do in that case, it also depends on how much of a bowler you are. You can always go and buy a pair of your own bowling
Yeah.
shoes. That way, only
That's
your
right.
foot's
But
been
the
in,
thing is, in
you
my
know.
case, I was not going bowling a lot.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, you're
Well,
right. You're 100%
in
right.
my ca-
But the thing is, in
right,
my particular case, I was not going bowling too often. I did like to bowl when I went, but I did not go. Are you there?
yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah, we had a little stopover. Yeah, we had a
Okay.
technical issue from StreamYard.
Yeah, what I wanted to jump in and say is once upon a time, I used to be an avid bowler. I used to be on a league. I haven't bowled on a league since 2009, and I still have my own bowling balls. I still got my own shoes, but Lord knows how old they are now. Um, but when I bowled on a league, I had a 177 average, which was, pretty good. So that, but I haven't bowled in
Yes.
quite some time. I think I've only bowled one time since then. And no, bowling is a good sport. A lot of people say it's not, but I think it is because you're moving. It's an activity. Um, well, let's go
Totally
ahead
fun.
and and
Totally
and and,
fun.
and yeah. Well, anyway, I'm glad that I could have you along on this one with me on the
Thank you.
on the video. You're welcome.
Thank
All
you
right,
so much.
everybody.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having
Yeah, you're welcome. So anyway, guys, hope whatever time of day you're having is great. I or we will see you back here next time. Have a good one, and we'll see you then. Bye.